And many of these Khawarij, they went to the Dawla. What did they do in Raqqa? They gang raped Muslim women and called them kuffar, mushrikeen. Said these Muslim women are adhir. They are making excuse for the mushrikeen. They gang raped these Muslim women. And they were crucified. Then I saw a video called the Hazimis. People from the Balkans went to the Dawla and they were captured and they confessed. We came to kill the Mujahideen and kill the Caliph. The other evidence, these people, they claim we don't need scholars. They claim we don't need scholars. Now, how many of you knew that these people, they come to social media and they made takfir on the 4 great imams? One of their disciples, the Hazimis, they come on social media and they make takfir on the 4 great imams. I'm sure you did not know that. And they made takfir on the 4 great imams with impunity and immunity. Now, the Rasul said that the Khawarij are the dogs of Jahannam. Okay, listen to this person, Abu Muwahhid al-Takfiri. I love Muslimin Muwahhideen for the sake of Allah who make takfir on the 4 great imams and on Muhammad ibn AbdulWahhab and ibn Taymiyyah. And I don't consider them ghulat, extremists, who do takfir on them because of their information and research. Now, to prove to you that these people are mentally ill, look at his statement that he posted on Facebook, and they have a presence on Facebook. He's making takfir on Ibn Taymiyyah, yet he's saying Rahimahullah. How can I be making takfir on Ibn Taymiyyah and in the same breath you say Rahimahullah? Then they claim if you play soccer, football, and you appoint a referee, you become a kafir because Allah is the only judge and the referee is a judge. They claim that if you have a Facebook account, you're a kafir because you click I agree. When you click I agree, sign up to Facebook, you went into a contract with the Taghut. Because you did not reject the Taghut, everyone with a Facebook account is a kafir. And all Khawarij, they have Facebook accounts. So why don't you make takfir on yourself? Then they say if you have a passport, an American passport, a British passport, an Australian passport, you're a kafir. Because when you took out your American passport, you had to swear allegiance to defend the American Constitution and to defend America against all enemies, domestic and foreign enemies. So by taking out your American passport, you're a kafir because you did not reject the Taghut. My question to you, the Khawarij, why you run away from the Balkans? Because most of them are from the Balkans. This movement was founded by the people of the Balkans. Why you run away from the Balkans to Sweden, to Norway, to London, UK, to America, and to Australia? And you did tahakum because you claim political asylum. You did tahakum because you claim political asylum by going to the courthouse of the Taghut and beg the Taghut for a passport and beg the Taghut to make you stay in the country. And as soon as you get your passport, you fly away. Recently, one of them flew from Australia to go to Europe to have sex with the woman he met on Facebook. And he bypassed Hajj because they claim it is haram to make Hajj. These Khawarij. Why is it haram? It is haram to make Hajj. Why? Because Mecca is Dar Harb. And because Mecca is Dar Harb and the Saudi regime is an apostate regime, if you make Hajj, your Hajj is batil. And the Kaaba is Masjid Dirar. And what they don't understand is they don't read Islamic history, they don't know anything about Islamic history. The Prophet ﷺ made Umrah when Mecca was controlled by the pagans of Quraysh. And when the Prophet made Umrah, there was 360 idols. Listen carefully, because maybe many of you in the room are unaware of this. The Prophet made Umrah 7 AH, 1 year after Hudaybiyah. 7 AH with his Sahabas. When the Prophet made Umrah, Mecca was Darul Harb, and Abu Sufyan was in charge of Mecca. Abu Jahl, the leader of Mecca, had already died at Badr like a dog. Abu Sufyan was a new leader. The Kaaba had 360 idols inside the Kaaba. Yet the Prophet tawaf around the Kaaba and made his Umrah, while Mecca was still Darul Harb. So when these neo Khawarij are saying to you, and there's no idols in the Kaaba now, the Kaaba is in a better situation now because there are no idols inside there. When they say to you, it is haram to make Hajj because Mecca is Darul Harb, say to them, did the Prophet Muhammad do haram? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, because he made his Umrah 7 AH, 1 year after Hudaybiyah, when Mecca was still Darul Harb. Mecca was in the hands of the Kafirs of Quraysh. Then they'll say to you, when you go to Mecca, you are not allowed to pray behind the imams there. This is why when they did tahakum and get their passports from Australia, from France, from Sweden, from Norway, from the UK, they used their passports to fly to different parts of the world to commit zina with girls they met on Facebook. And they bypass Hajj. They will never go to Hajj. They rather go and have fun than to go to Hajj. They tell you Mecca is Darul Harb and all the imams are kafirs. So if I go there, how can I pray behind such imams? So what do you mean we don't need scholars? Don't you remember the story when Omar conquered Persia? He did not know what to do with them. Should we charge them jizya or not? What should he do with these fire worshippers? And Abdurrahman bin Auf, who was a scholar, came forward and said, I heard the Messenger of Allah saying, Sunnu bihim sunnata ahl kitab. Treat them the way you treat Ahlul Kitab. Charge them the jizya the way you would charge Ahlul Kitab the jizya. Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah, another scholar, used to preach the excuse of ignorance. So not only did Imam Shafi preach the excuse of ignorance, and Ibn Taymiyyah preached the excuse of ignorance, Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah used to preach the excuse of ignorance. And the scholars who preach the excuse of ignorance, they use Baqarah 286 as their evidence. رَبَّنَا لَا تُؤَاخِذْنَا إِن نَسِينَا أَوْ أَخْطَأْنَا. Allah, do not put a burden on us beyond our capacity. رَبَّنَا لَا تُؤَاخِذْنَا إِن نَسِينَا أَوْ أَخْطَأْنَا. Bring me the ayah after this. رَبَّنَا لَا تُؤَاخِذْنَا إِن نَسِينَا أَوْ أَخْطَأْنَا. رَبَّنَا وَلَا تَحْمِلْ عَلَيْنَا إِسْرًا كَمَا حَمَلْتَهُ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِنَا. You beg Allah, oh Allah, do not punish us if we forget or make a mistake. The ulama said this dua is for all mistakes that were committed in regards to fiqh, and mistakes that were committed in regards to aqidah. Rabbana la tuakhidna in nasina aw akhtana. Our Lord, put not on us a burden greater than we can bear. Pardon us, grant us forgiveness. O Allah, do not punish us if we forget or fall into error. The ulama use this ayah, Baqarah 286, which is the last ayah of Surah Baqarah. O Allah, do not punish us if we forget or fall into error. And they said the word error covers errors in regards to fiqh and errors in regards to aqidah. Because when the man told his family to burn his body and scatter the ashes, because he doesn't want to meet his maker, because he was a sinful man, but he was still a Muslim. Maybe he committed zina, he drank alcohol and did other things. The scholar said his mistake was not a mistake in regards to fiqh. It was a mistake in regards to aqidah, because he rejected faith in Allah's name, Al-Qadir, the one who has the power to do all things, the one who has no limit in regards to his abilities and capabilities. Even Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah used to preach the excuse of ignorance. So Ibn Qayyim said, the Sharia rulings only comes binding, it only becomes binding upon a person when he reaches puberty, and when the rulings reach him. Just as the rulings are not binding upon him before he reaches puberty, by the same token, they are not binding upon him before they reach him. Why? Because Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذَّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثْ رَسُولًا, Surah 17, verse 15. We will never punish the wayward until we send unto them a messenger to warn them. Allah said what? We will never punish the wayward until we send unto them a messenger to give a warning to them. So even Allah Himself believes in the excuse of ignorance, because Allah said, never will we punish the wayward until we send to them a messenger to warn them. The other quarrel we have with the neo-Khawarij is the issue of tahakum. A different topic, the issue of tahakum. Tahakum means to go to the Kafir courthouse for judgment. Tahakum, 1K. Tahakum means what? Going to the Kafir courthouse for judgment. The ulama are of the opinion that tahakum is shirk. But tahakum is allowed out of necessity, out of duress, because of the hadith, Inna Allah tajawaza li an ummati al-khata wa nisyan wa mastukru alayh. Allah has forgiven my ummah the things they did out of nisyan, forgetfulness, khata, make, and things they did out of duress. Mistake means you think the thing was halal, but the thing was haram. I give an example of mistake. And this is a good example of the excuse of ignorance. When Omar was a caliph, a woman slept with her slave boy. She was a married woman. According to Sharia law, you are supposed to punish the woman because she committed adultery. When Omar asked the woman, why you slept with your slave boy? She told Omar, well, Omar, he is my right hand possessor. Therefore, the same way Muslim men are allowed to sleep with their slave girls without getting married to them, I am allowed to sleep with my slave boy without getting married to him, because he's my slave boy, he's my right hand possessor. Omar was the harshest of the four caliphs. Did Omar punish the woman for adultery? He did not. Omar realized the woman was jahil, so Omar gave her the excuse of ignorance. You say, I'm sorry, Sheikh Faisal, I don't accept that example because she did not do shirk. You think she did not do shirk because you are the one who is jahil. The woman did shirk. She did shirk? What shirk? The shirk of Hakimiyya. She legislated. You are so jahil about Tawheed, you don't realize she did shirk. The woman did shirk. What shirk? The shirk of Hakimiyya. She made what is haram halal. Ibn Taymiyyah said it is the ijma of the Muslims that whosoever made haram halal is a kafir, or vice versa. They made haram halal or halal haram. Ibn Taymiyyah said you're a kafir. The woman did shirk, the shirk of Hakimiyya. She legislated. So if Omar wanted to be harsh, Omar could have called her a Zindiq. A Zindiq is a person who makes up his own Islam. We don't call it Islam, we call it Hislam. This woman made up her own Islam, which is called Hislam. Why? Because she said to Omar, the same way a man can have sex with his slave girl, because she is his right and possess, I can have sex with my slave boy, because he's my right and possess. Yet, this woman did tashri', she legislated, she did shirk, and Allah is the one and only legislator. Yet Omar didn't kill the woman. Why? Because he had mercy in his heart for the Muslims. Even though he was the harshest of all the Sahabas, by a far, he was the harshest of all the Sahabas. He didn't kill the woman because he had mercy in his heart for the Muslims. Yet these neo-Khawarij, they have absolutely no mercy in their heart for the Muslims. Now, many of you know the hadith where the Prophet said they are the dogs of Jahannam. But do you know how they resemble dogs? Do you understand the hadith of the Prophet when the Prophet said they are dogs of Jahannam? Now bring back the statement of the neo-Khawarij who said he makes Takfir on the 4 great imams, and he posted it publicly on Facebook with impunity and immunity. Listen to this neo-Khawarij. He made Takfir on the 4 great imams with impunity and immunity with no shame. I love Muslimin, Muwahideen for the sake of Allah, who make Takfir on the 4 great imams and on Muhammad ibn AbdulWahhab and on Ibn Taymiyyah. He's so stupid. He's making Takfir on Ibn Taymiyyah, yet he's saying Rahimahullah. So they are suffering from a bipolar, borderline personality disorder. They are mentally ill. And most of them were sexually abused as children. So they have a vendetta in their hearts for mankind. They are disturbed. He's making Takfir on Ibn Taymiyyah, yet he's saying with the same breath, Rahimahullah. And I don't consider them to be ghulat extremists who do Takfir on the 4 great imams, Muhammad ibn AbdulWahhab, Ibn Taymiyyah, because of their information and research. Why did the Prophet say they are the dogs of Jahannam? Dogs lick their own balls. Okay? Dogs have sex with each other in front of you and they don't care. You want to look? Okay, I make you look. Dogs don't care if you're looking at them. I lived in Saudi Arabia for 8 years, and I used to go in the desert with my Saudi friends for picnics, and I never see 2 camels having sex in front of people. Impossible. The camels have haya. They are shy. Dogs have no shyness. So when this dog of Jahannam comes on Facebook and made Takfir on the 4 great imams with no sort of shyness, he has no shame. He is behaving just like the dogs. This is the secret why the Prophet said the Khawarij, they are the dogs of Jahannam. They are like dogs, the living dogs that are living in your midst today. They have absolutely no shame. Now you know the understanding of the hadith of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I can bring you many more postings of theirs, but I don't want to bore you with their rubbish postings. Because many people say they are attention seekers. These neo-Khawarij are attention seekers. Therefore, you are not supposed to pay them any attention. Now, your family is Iqra. The neo-Khawarij said, no, your family is not Iqra. If your kids are being taken into care by forced adoption by the kuffar, let them take the kids. Let them take the kids. Because Allah said in Surah Anfal, verse 28, your kids are fitna for you and your wealth. So why you want to take the kids? Let the kuffar take them. They are a fitna for you. Wallahi, they pass the fatwa. Allah is my witness. The Hazimis, they use that as their evidence. Allah said your kids and your wealth and your kids are fitna. So let the kuffar take the kids. Let them take them into forced adoption. You all know that when kuffar adopt Muslim kids, they sexually abuse these kids. And they've turned them into 5-star kafirs. So not only will your children become kuffar if they are taken into care by forced adoption, but your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren will become kuffar. And the ulama said you have 6 sacred possessions. 6 sacred possessions. What are the 6 sacred possessions? Your life, your wealth, your honor, your kids, and the akal and the deen. 6 sacred possessions. Are you going to make takfir on these sahabas? Because they ask a Christian king. He said, no, the king, this hadith you quoted is weak. Anytime you use a hadith to checkmate the dogs of Jahannam, they call the hadith weak, even if the hadith is in Bukhari, Muslim, the Muwatta of Imam Malik. They don't care. They rather call the hadith weak rather than lose an argument. So they lied because they are not scholars of hadith. They have no knowledge of Islam. They are unqualified to dub the hadith as weak, yet they call the hadith weak and they are unqualified to classify hadith. They are not scholars of hadith, experts of hadith. So when they said this hadith is weak, you say, okay, let me bring you Quran. Because they can't say Quran is weak. Are you going to reject the Quran? Apparently you reject the Quran because you said Yusuf didn't do tahakum. Yusuf, we don't know what he meant when he said mention me to the king. The Hazimis are so evil. They will tell you maybe he wanted the king to send him a beef burger. He didn't want to leave prison. He wanted the king to send him a beef burger. They are so evil and deceptive. They are evil personified. They put a spin on every ayah. When the hadith is against them, they call the hadith weak. And when the ayah is against them, they put a spin on the ayah. They are extremely evil. Not only did he do tahakum once, he did it twice. Are you going to deny these Quranic verses? You, the new Khawarij, I put it to you, a Muslim is allowed to do tahakum to save his life or to save the life of his children. Hatib ibn Abi Balta was a very strong Sahaba who fought at Badr. In spite of his strong Iman, he became weak in regards to his family. So weak, he sent a letter to Quraysh to tip off Quraysh the Prophet was coming. And when he explained himself to the Prophet said, what? He spoke the truth. The ulama used this story to say your family, your children are ikrah. Therefore, you can go to the Kafir courthouse to fight for your kids. Why? Because if they are adopted, they will be sexually abused by kuffar in adoption. You know how many Muslim women I have to give counseling to because they suffer sexual abuse when they were children? Many Muslim women. But I don't tell anyone. I don't even tell my wife. Why? It's amana, a trust. A trust. If you reveal these secrets of these women, you're not a sheikh anymore. You're a milkshake because you can't be trusted. You can't even tell your. It's a trust. These women come crying on your shoulders and want advice and want therapy of their ordeals when they were taken into care as Kafir kids, according to them. I wasn't a Muslim when I was taken into care and I suffered sexual abuse. And these kuffar, these neo-Khawarij, you claim you reject the Taghut. If you reject the Taghut, why you celebrate every time a Muslim woman, kids get taken into care? You don't reject the Taghut. You are in bed with the Taghut. You pretend to be Muslims thinking that we won't expose you. We have Quran and Sunnah to expose you, and we can even use our aql to expose you. If you really reject the Taghut and you are a muwahhid like you claim, why you celebrate every time the children of Muslim women get taken into care? You don't reject the Taghut. You are in bed with the Taghut. It was indicated to me that the other speaker is ready. So with this, I will relinquish the mic. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. And I forgiveness for myself and for you.